Fox News host Tucker Carlson believes that men are out of touch with their masculinity and that the modern man is currently in crisis. He says, quote, "Part of it is that somebody told boys when they were little, be sensitive, be thoughtful, and some of that's fine, but too much of it makes you pretty unattractive to women because it suggests weakness." This statement is infuriating because this asshole is equating sensitivity with femininity and then femininity with weakness. If you're sweet and sensitive, then you're a wuss, you're a girly man, or even worse, you're a pussy. You notice that all of the most insulting words that you can throw at a man basically call him a woman, and the people that should be most offended by this are women. But he doesn't stop there. Mr. Manly Man goes on to explain that this is the reason why there are so many attractive, intelligent women in their 30s who desperately want to get married but never do. There are just too many, quote, losers out there who won't, quote, live up to their manly responsibility to provide. See, he equates being masculine with taking responsibility in life. I guess every woman who takes responsibility in her life is a man now. But one of the brilliant co-hosts at this point pipes in, apparent high school graduate Katie Pavlik, says, quote, "I blame it on the feminist movement for decades has told men not to embrace their manliness, and that it is part of the patriarchy of our society, and that being a man is a bad thing, and that you should downgrade your manliness, and saying man up is like not acceptable because manning up is like not based on gender." Newsflash, Katie, it's actually not based on gender. Here's another newsflash, Katie. Without that feminist movement you're talking about, you wouldn't be able to sit in your comfy little chair and call yourself a quote-unquote journalist or news anchor right now. Anyway, back to Carlson, who also said in the same segment, "Being masculine means taking responsibility." That's a quote. Again, equating taking responsibility with being a man. That's insulting to men and women, in my opinion. He also said, quote, "Men who on the second date let their date pay for dinner, I'm sorry, that's disgusting. I don't care what the new norms are, he shouldn't allow it, period." Then co-host, when reasonable, seemingly, co-host Sandra Smith tried to point out that maybe the man just could have respect for the woman and not assume that he's the macho man that needs to pay for dinner all the time, Carlson exclaimed, "He should be the macho man. He ought to have respect for himself. Are you kidding? Let a girl pay? What, are you joking?" People like Carlson equate weakness with femininity. These two words are synonyms in their mind. What is feminine is weak. Accepting help or money from a woman is accepting help from something that is weak, which by dint makes you weak as well, which of course isn't manly. But you know what it means to be a man, Carlson? You know what it really means to be a man? It means you have a penis. Or at least that you feel that you should have been born with one, not leaving out my transsexual friends out there. That's what it means to be a man. Do you know what it means to take responsibility? That's not a masculine trait. That's a responsible human trait. That is what every responsible human being should do, whether man or woman. Take responsibility for their own lives. And when you try to constrain and confine men and women into these ridiculous stereotypes of what it means to be a man or what it means to be a woman, you're harming men, you're harming women, and you're harming the progress of our society. Anyway, he also said in the last segment, I have to point out, quote, "If you're playing video games in your 30s, you're pathetic." So there you go, Jeff. He called you pathetic. So I'm going to leave it to you guys now. I've said my piece. How do you guys feel about this particular asshole?
Oh, hey, Tucker. Fuck off. You're an asshole. Look, this guy's a douchebag. Like, we all know this, right? Like, nobody's going to sit here and defend Tucker Carlson completely. At least I won't, because this guy's a douchebag, right? And you know, the things that you said about, you know, like him, you know, equating femininity with, you know, weakness, that's ridiculous. Like, manning up and stuff like that, like, I don't have any problem with saying that, really. I just think that, like, taking responsibility is a thing that everybody should learn to do, whether you're a man or a woman. And so, like, it really doesn't, like, he doesn't make any sense. It's like this guy belongs back in the 1950s. And saying that, like, people who let their date pay on the second date or something pay is disgusting. What the fuck? I think, I like, personally, I think that whoever asks the other person out on the date should pay. Like, if I ask a girl out, I'll pay. If a girl asks me out, she pays. Like, that's fine with me. Like, I don't really care. Because it's just not a big deal to me. So I think Tucker Carlson's being kind of a 1950s Neanderthal, which fits perfectly into his position over at Fox News, because their audience is like 68 anyway, like the average age.
Right, and I also have to point out that when he said that one of the problems is that we're telling little boys to be sweet and sensitive, and too much of that makes you pretty unattractive to women. I'd just like to ask, has any woman actually ever genuinely found this guy attractive? I mean, what exactly does he think he has to say on what he thinks women find attractive?
Yeah, to be honest about this, and I'm going to let you go here, Sean. The thing that offended me the most was the video game comment. I'm going to be real about it. Like, I'm like, all right, you can say whatever you want about, like, guys being sensitive, because I consider myself a sensitive, good guy, right? But don't fuck with my video games, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
You see, I 100% agree with Tucker Carlson. We should all be men and not ever wear makeup, even when we're on Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, shit.
Tucker, why are you wearing makeup? No, but in all seriousness, the be a man analogy, like, I don't think that's necessarily that bad, but it depends on the context. If in context you're saying, like, don't be a boy, like, grow up and be a responsible person. If you're comparing...
Take responsibility for yourself. Yeah.
Right. If you're comparing manhood to, like, boyhood, for lack of a better term, I think that's a perfectly fine analogy. But if you're comparing manhood to, like, being, like, a womanhood and saying that womanhood is not about responsibility and all those same things, then I think you're wrong. Obviously, Tucker Carlson fell into the second category, in the wrong category.
Right.
Now, in general, like, I might not disagree. Like, if I'm on a date with a woman, I usually pay, right? Sometimes she'll offer to buy a round of drinks or offer to pay the tip or whatever, and to me that's perfectly fine. I don't feel like denigrated as a man in any way. Most recently, I met a girl who would refuse to let me pay, and again, like, I didn't think I was, like, not a man because she would refuse to let me pay anything for her. Like, it depends on the situation. Like, I assume that I have to pay because I assume that they assume that I am gonna pay. So, like, it just depends on the situation. But, like, I'm not, like, less of a person. I don't think less of myself because of the most recent person that I met that she won't let me pay. I'm like, whatever. If she wants to show that she's independent, I totally respect that. That's perfectly fine. It's Tucker Carlson who has the weird issue. He's like, oh, if I'm not paying, I might not be worth anything. Like, he's valuing himself.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to point out. He feels like that he's not paying, that he's, like, somehow less of a man. Right? No, I gotta pay. Right? That's what makes me feel like a man.
But all you have to do, like, honestly, like, it's not about who pays or who's more manly or anything like that. In general, women do like confidence, and if your, like, confidence is destroyed the minute a woman wants to pay, then maybe that is a very sad day for you.
Yeah,
if your confidence is being destroyed by somebody wanting to do something nice for you and be like offering, like, oh, hey, let me pay for this meal. You want to? Sure thing. Okay. Well, I'm not going to turn down free food, and it's not going to destroy my confidence. Like, I just don't get the mindset of people that are like, no, I have to do so, or else I will not feel like a man. Like,
right, and in the scenario he's presenting at one point, where it's like, if you let your date pay on the second date, then that's disgusting. And he says that you shouldn't allow it, no matter what. It's like, well, that's a great way to get a third date, isn't it? Act like a male chauvinist asshole and refuse, no matter how insistent she is, that you don't pay for her, just you pay for it, no matter what she says. You force it on her, damn it.
Well, let's be honest. Like, you know, if she offers, I might do a little back and forth. Like, oh, you sure? No, I can cover this. You know, if that's all right. And like,
Jeff's exactly right.
It goes back to me, like, to me personally. Like, if I ask a girl out on a date, which I did for now my wife, right? I asked her out, and she basically volunteered her time. That's the way that I kind of look at it. Like, I'm the one who made the proposition to her. I'm the one who asked, which means I'm asking for her time, which means it's my responsibility to pay since I'm doing the asking, right? And that's more of like that's not like a feminist or an anti-feminist thing or a chauvinist thing. That's a common courtesy sort of thing. Like, I ask you for your time, I'm going to pay for that time because that's my treat for asking you. I want you to do something with me, so I'm gonna treat us both to it.
But Jeff's exactly right. I'll do the same thing if I'm on a date and she offers to pay. I check. Like, I'll be like, are you sure? I got it. Don't worry about it. You check if, like, she's actually being serious. Because she could be testing you. She could be the Tucker Carlson kind of woman who never wants to have to pay anything ever. And, like, so, like, you check. But, like, in general, like, if you're going to insist, I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not going to, like, fight you and have an argument. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, what am I going to win if, like, you totally object to being paid for, and then I make you let me pay for you? I'm never going to see you again. Like, after that.
And you're probably out like $20
If you get so put off, then you're just, like, I'm just offering to pay to never see you again.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. Like, just feel comfortable, like, try and negotiate, like, in general. Like, if you want to pay and that makes you feel like a good person and she insists on paying, like, just work it out. Like, you could do... I had a nice arrangement with somebody a long time ago that she would leave the tip or something like that. Or one time, and then on another date, she would pay for the entire date or something like that. Like, we would work it out, and I never felt, like, emasculated or anything like that. Or, like, not a real man or whatever. Like, just... Right. You're on a date with a person, right? Like, hopefully a person that you see as equivalent to you. Like, if you want to pay, that's nice, but it's not necessary.
Right, but that's the thing. I think it's really hard for a lot of men and a lot of women to interact with someone of the opposite sex as if they're another human being, instead of, because it's these social conventions, these gender stratification issues that really make it difficult for people to interact as human to human. But
well, I would hope, like, you would hope that a person that you would, like, want to go out with, that you actually want to spend time with them because you think that they're an interesting person or you would like to get to know something about them, not like anything else. You know what I mean?
Right. And
you would
Jeff,
maybe I'm being an idealist.
And look, here's my rule for all men out there who are asking women on dates. Assume that you're going to end up paying. So that means bring enough money, because the worst thing you want to ever have happen is to be broke. So bring enough money, but if she insists or she wants to split it or whatever, right, then just split it. Like, don't make it a huge issue. Because Jeff's rule is nice. Jeff's rule is nice.
Throwing your manhood into that kind of stuff, because I think that this is ridiculous. Like,
but Jeff's rule is nice that if she asks for the date, then whoever asked for the date should pay for it. That's nice, but that's not always reality. I went on a date once where I was actually asked out by the girl, and every time the check came, we went to 2 different places. She ran into the bathroom. So, like, sometimes I say as a dude, assume that you're gonna end up paying, but if she wants to pay, don't feel emasculated or anything like that. It's perfectly fine. It's actually nice. I actually appreciate the offer.
Yeah, it seems like a good backup plan, actually, Sean. So
right.
Right. Like, yeah. If you're a confident man, which is important, then your masculinity shouldn't be tied to money anyway.
And I'm downright narcissistic, so, like, nothing you can do will shake my confidence.
Right, like, confidence, it's not like being, like, super macho manly. It's about having confidence, and that's what's really attractive. I don't think Tucker Carlson fucking gets it. Tucker Carlson thinks that you gotta fucking take your club and beat a girl over the head with it. Shows that, I'm a big man. that's how to be manly. No, being manly is being confident of yourself, not necessarily like super cocky or anything like that, but confident in yourself, respectful. You know what I mean? Like respect goes such a long way when it comes to dating, treating the person that you're spending time with like you actually want to spend time with them and you actually value them as a person. Like, hey, I want to get to know you, because you seem like an interesting person. That goes so far, and that just shows how much of a Neanderthal Tucker Carlson is and his audience, because they're buying into that bullshit. And I don't agree with it. He's an idiot.
And by the way, it's super easy for Tucker Carlson to say because he's also super rich. Like, you also got to factor that in. Like,
that is another good point.
He's super rich, so he could literally pay for any date easily. So like, it's easy for him to say I'm super rich and I'm on TV, so I know exactly how dating should go. I'm like, dude, let's see you without all your money. Let's see you with my kind of money and no kind of TV show. Let's see how you roll like that.
Yep.
Right.
Maybe that guy would change it.
Sorry. Yeah, money's all he's got going for him. So.
And once again, Tucker Carlson, you can fuck off. You can literally sit on this thing and spin for that video game comment. You are a dick. Am I clear?